Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. MV7. There you go. This is not working correctly. What about this? Echo. Okay. I can't see anything. Everything's all messed up. I'm like, I haven't done this in forever. Oh my god. Go easy on my man Mike. No. Never. Let me figure this out really quick. Okay. So I need to get this chat on here. Properties. Socrates. URL. Studio. Beautiful. Mike is a loon. Hello. From North Carolina. Oh wait, I gotta pin this too. 1 second. We'll start in a second. Hunter. No. Hunter Avallone. Full screen. Oh, wait. Full screen. Now I gotta see the chat again. Here. Don't go easy on Mike. What's up, Durka? It's subscriber only mode. I complain about that all the time because back when I was like streaming every day, they didn't have subscriber only mode. Now they do. Now they do. Now, after all this time, I hate them. Listen to me on repeat. Now they do. Now, as I get this. After all this time, I hate them. Okay, I'll do this later. How do I do YouTube intros? I'm gonna post this to YouTube for easy drama. Oh wait, the chat isn't working. There you go. Cool. We'll do a nice 1.5 speed. Actually, let's start off in 1.25. I need a real This is a real backdrop. This is beautiful. Look at this. White. It's all white, just like the town I live in and grew up in. All white. I get secondhand embarrassment too. Low high key. This is not old construction paper. Here, I forget what's behind it. Never mind, it's 30 behind there. I can't take it down. 3.5. Wait, do I have the right? I need to make sure I have the right microphone filters on, because all my stuff is all messed up. Sorry, 1 second. I'll start the video in a second. All right. Properties, filters. Okay. I can iron it. I will then. I want to purposely go for the terrible look aesthetic, 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 aesthetic. All right, so I don't know much about this drama yet. I just heard about it and knew Mike from PA was involved. So Mike from PA, I've covered drama with him in it before. He is spineless, slimy. He's a pretty bad guy overall. His politics are sometimes not terrible. I agree with some of his positions, but overall as a person, yeah, not the best. By the way, don't make fun of my background. My background is beautiful. It's professional quality. This is what all the professional radio people have. This is better looking than Sam Cedar or David Pakman's setup. This is awesome. So,
is it true that you used to be a former Republican?
Dude, this was before I was any kind of public figure.
So what? Is it true that you used to be a registered?
I really get annoyed, or I get sort of annoyed when all these YouTubers and stuff like Vosh does this a lot. When I became a public figure, my entire life changed. Like the word public figure. I just hate when people call themselves a public figure. I don't know.
Republican?
Absolutely. People can change.
Are you
And guess
serious?
I
What?
believe in changing. I believe in changing.
Interesting. Wait, you switched to being a Democrat just so you could run against the candidate that already BTFO'd your mom in the same race? Oof.
What?
That sounds
Okay,
really
so wait,
griftery, dude.
wait a minute,
Apparently you
wait a
raised over
minute.
50K? Shit.
First of all, I raised over 100K. You should go
Holy
look it
fuck,
up.
this guy raised over
And you know-
100K by just
and you
switching
know-
to being a Democrat.
And do you
Sounds
know
like something a
you know
grifter would
you know
do.
who I raised, you know who I raised?
Smackdown right there.
So what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite, Mike from PA. Apparently, we got into a little, tiff. I actually have opening notes that I've written because I want to make sure that I'm very precise with my position here, okay? So, let's talk about the Pledge of Allegiance. Most of you know by now that I'm no fan of nationalism. And the Pledge of Allegiance...
Okay, so this all started, I saw the one tweet. Hunter Avallone said people who burn the American flag or people that burn flags are cringe. And his position is people on the left who burn the American flag are really damaging for the left overall politically. They hurt our cause. So therefore, if you burn the flag, although you should be allowed to legally, it should be completely allowed 100%, he doesn't encourage it. And Mike from PA, I'm pretty sure, just called Hunter Avallone out and called him like, he's probably going to play a clip here, right?
That I had to reply. Oh no, he deleted it. What a
Yep.
little rat. Oh, he deleted it.
Wait, I'm confused. How does that make me a rat? If you thought it was a bad take and then I deleted it, wouldn't you kind of be, like, glad overall that I took the takedown?
Oh no. I'm glad he listened to me. I'm glad he listened to me and shut the fuck
Oh,
up.
wait. So am I a rat for deleting it, or am I legit for deleting it because I listened to you? Is this Mike admitting to being a rat himself? This is some meta shit.
Burning the flag is pretty cringe. When it comes to symbols in general, like crosses, flags, all that stuff, I think nationalism and religious zealotry is bad. But there are people who literally do tie the flag to their like fallen family members. Although I say my own issues that I have with people who are like, don't burn the flag, my grandfather fought for that, because they never say the same about like black soldiers. Black soldiers fought under the same flag, and were still considered second-class citizens, did not have rights. After they fought for America, they came back to a country where they were not respected as humans. So I bring that up a lot. But when a flag literally does mean to somebody like, oh, this is my child that died in Afghanistan, you probably shouldn't burn that. You probably shouldn't burn a cross. You probably shouldn't burn a Bible, Torah, Quran. You probably shouldn't do that. Even a nationalistic symbol. It's not good politically. It's not good morally. I just think even if you have an issue with traditional belief systems, all in all, I really am not for doing that. Unless if there's an extreme form of protest. Like if you're, I don't know, if you live in a really oppressive government like, I don't know, Nazi Germany. But even, yeah, I mean, there's other forms of protest you could do today in America that I think are a lot more effective. I want to get to the actual debate at hand. When do they start debating here?
Said multiple times that my speech...
Does anybody know when they
You
start?
don't have to scroll far to find it. He literally took Tucker Carlson. He did the same exact thumbnail that he did for AOC.
Well,
but flipped
Hunter Avallone used to be a far-right commentator, but he made a big transition to the left, right? So if you go back and look at his old content, you can't really judge him based off that. And I'm pretty sure he deletes all of his old stuff too. All right, when do they start debating here? This is still a clip. This is a clip.
Coming
Who are
from the
you?
optics mask flag. And I understand that there are a lot of...
the idea of
So are
it
you
burning
admitting
the
then
flag
that
being
was a little bit of an
cringing.
unfair...
What I would
Gotta
cancer
find
shit
it.
after Bernie Sanders had announced that would be private the videos.
Nope.
This is
I
important.
was...
This
Hold
is
on,
your
but I
fans
was...
know this, but I
Nope.
want Turning Points USA. You were allied with the far right.
It was some of the most poorly... No. But part of something you have to understand, Mike, and this is something I've said very frequently, when you're changing and your viewpoints are developing, and you're kind of documenting that on your channel, it is going to be a process. I didn't wake up one day and have a switch in my head change where all of a sudden all my positions were just different. It's funny that you're accusing me of not changing enough, whereas other people accuse me of becoming a soy boy leftist cuck. It's like no matter what I do, I don't know. It's just, this doesn't prove that I'm a grifter. If anything, the fact that I'm willing to admit that I wouldn't make a joke like that now, and that a joke like that isn't good and is irresponsible, somehow that means I'm a grifter. What I would say today, the kind of joke I would make today, would be...
A grifter. Calling Hunter Avallone a grifter is the opposite of what he did. He literally came out with his true and converted views, and ruined his entire conservative political career. Like, he was making so much money off of his YouTube channel. He was getting millions of views. Now, Hunter Avallone, I'm pretty sure, yeah, his channel doesn't grow anymore. He gets like 8,000 views a video. Going to the left killed Hunter Avallone's political career when it comes to his commentary. Calling him a grifter is the opposite of what he is.
It's like
Is Mike really
religion
calling
and
him
gay
that?
rights. They just don't go
That's so
together.
dumb.
And then, oh yeah, he tries to claim I'm a grifter because I'm selling merchandise that says I melt snowflakes. I call people on the right snowflakes all the time. Mike from PA is getting on.
Hello.
Hello, Mike from PA. You know how long I wanted to ask you what a TIFF is? And now I'm finally here able to talk to you and ask you to your face.
I think you're gonna go with Vouch community memes. Do you really want to know? I mean,
No, I'm not.
happy-
No,
I'd be
I'm not
happy
gonna go
teach
with. No, I'm not gonna go with Vouch community memes.
Dude, everybody knows that meme in every community who's in this cringe political debate, whatever scene, whatever. Like, I don't consider myself a part of Destiny or Vosh's community, but I use that meme because it's hilarious. Because what is a TIFF showed how bad Mike, like that entire engagement really just showed everything bad about Mike from PA in one, in one setting.
I'm more interested in
And
what.
by the way,
I'm more interested if you did any research at all before making that little stream segment on me because it was some of the
Mike from PA does no research.
most poorly researched content I think I'd
it's
ever
almost
seen.
like the video you made against me, Hunter.
Some of what you said was just
Like,
so
isn't that
entirely
right?
factually incorrect.
Factually incorrect. What
Yeah.
do you-
So for
okay.
example, what do you think
All
my
right, hold on,
wait
hold
wait
on.
what do you think my
Before we
speech at
begin-
Penn State
before we
was
begin-
about?
Before we begin, you start yelling about whatever slight you feel.
Oh, he's getting that
being
Soros money.
inslighted. Could you, for the audience, explain kind of what you think your politics is today?
I consider myself kind of a social democrat.
So when you say social democrat, do you mean the traditional definition of it that you'll find on Wikipedia, which is a socialist who believes in a democratic transition?
No, when I say social democrat, I mean like I want like stronger social safety nets, but I think we can still work
So you
within
mean
our
more
current
like a
system.
social liberal or like a liberal?
Maybe
a
more of a
welfare
liberal. Yeah,
state
I guess I would consider myself. more
Oh
of a-
my god. Oh my goodness. Mike had to bring it back around to the word liberal because liberal is a curse word in his LARPy community. You're more of a social liberal or a liberal social whatever than you are a democratic socialist or a social like dude, that's so cringy. Holy crap.
a social democrat or I
Now,
guess
would you say
centrist.
you're fixed? Would
But
you
I'm
say
not.
you're fixed,
Hold
or
on.
you're
I'm not
still
interested in
educating
talking about
yourself?
my positions here because
Wait, what do you mean? This is what this is about.
No, it's
You're
not.
saying that
It's
you've
about the fact
changed.
that you
Wait,
made a
wait, you're
segment on
saying
me.
you're-
You
wait,
are
you're saying
unholy. You are not really on the left. You are a liberal.
You've changed, and you should get a benefit of the doubt.
wait.
from
There we go
leftists
again. You're
because
lying
you've
already.
changed.
When did I say I should have a benefit of the doubt? This is what I mean. Is why you don't know about
So
me.
what you're
I
saying
don't
is
think
I'm
you understand who I
canceling
am.
you because that's why I'm asking you right now. I'm trying to clear it up from misapprehension of the audience. I think a lot of your audience thinks of you someone who was on the alt-right and who transitioned to we don't really know yet because you're again when I asked you what you were, you changed already in this conversation from social democrat. Now you're social liberal.
No,
Maybe you'll
stop.
transition back to the
Okay,
right.
no. You're already being super bad faith, and I don't appreciate this. Okay, so we're gonna go through the claims you made directly
All I
about me.
asked you, Hunter. All I asked you.
Mike
was what
already 5 minutes into this engagement is being so purposely slimy. Oh, you're not a social democrat, you're a social liberal. Like nobody uses the word social liberal. A social democrat in America is somebody who pushes for like a huge welfare state, using the products of like capitalism. Mike from PA has no real world applications for any of his like policies or whatever. He LARPs all of the time. He uses communist and socialist aesthetics. I don't know how to say that word, aesthetics, whatever. But he uses all of this stuff. Sometimes he has takes where I'm like, okay, he is speaking out against Jimmy Dore. He's not that bad. But then he does stuff like this, and I'm like, oh
your
boy.
positions are.
By
That's
the
all I
standards of the way that we define what a social democrat is, I would definitely fall under that definition.
When you
That's
say
why I
we,
tell
what do you
people
mean?
in an American sense, I'm a social democrat. On an online sense, I would be more of a centrist. That's what I've said, and I've said that consistently. But we're not here to talk about that right now. We're first going to talk about your segment. We're going to go through it a little bit and talk about some of these things. The first thing being, you've said multiple times that my speech at Penn State was on transgender people, attacking transgender
That's not what I
individuals.
said. That's not what I said. I said
You
were
didn't say
hanging
that?
out with, if you can read what I said in the tweet, and I'll read it out loud for everybody, is that you were with Turning Points USA. You were going to Turning Points USA stuff as recently as 2019,
What do you think my speech was about then?
and you guys were discussing deplatforming, and they had a conspiracy theory about deplatforming, and you said, "Well, I don't think that the right is unfairly targeted." Which, to give you
Did you
credit
know
for
that when you made the
were
segment?
right. But that's not.
Wait, did you know that when you made the
That
segment on me,
doesn't
though?
change significantly anything I'm saying. You're
Yes,
gonna
it
let me finish
does.
my statement?
No, I'm not,
Because
because you're
you
being
did
so
it
dishonest right now.
Because you were with Turning Points USA, you were allied with the far right as recently as 2019, and you
No,
were making
that's wrong.
anti-left-wing videos. I went and looked at your catalog because I've been told you've changed, and within the last year, you have a whole catalog of anti-leftist, anti-feminist, all sorts of
First of all, there was
Gamergate-esque content, attacking people for basically.
Okay,
doing
so right
kiwi
here, buddy,
farms,
on Twitter, you
lolcows.
We
said
know this already.
this snake
Why are
was
you not
literally.
know his
letting me
story
keep
already.
talking when you're
Okay,
not
can
letting me
I read my
So you
tweet?
do the
Can I read
kiwi
tweet,
farms,
please?
lolcow shit. You have your top videos are all attacking people like AOC.
Which, by the way, weren't monetized. So there's
They
that.
were they were limited monetization. We just saw it earlier on your show that they were in fact monetized, but Google and YouTube.
No,
marked them
I
down.
demonetized
And
those
you
videos. I
demonetized
turned off the
one
monetization.
video,
No,
but
both
then
of
on
them.
the other videos that we could see right on this, we could go back to the VOD.
Mike makes weird drama baiting videos about different people. Vosh, Bo of the Fifth Column, Hunter Avallone, basically anybody Mike from PA cannot benefit from, he attacks. He even started to attack Hassan once Hassan separated himself from Mike from PA. He's a careerist. He wants money from streaming. He doesn't care about real world politics. He doesn't care about real world anything. He takes a lot of traits from his good friend Bad Bunny, right? If anybody knows about her drama, I'm not going to go over it. But he takes a lot of tactics from her. All that cringe, really toxic. He's a bad overall person. I think it's not good for him to have a platform speaking about these issues. I know, like Sam Cedar platformed him a little bit because he helped the Majority Report a little bit. But I don't think Sam knows how bad he is on his own like independent show.
To the VOD, and we can look and see that they were limited monetization.
We're already getting so off subject.
When you discuss politics on YouTube, they often demonetize that because a lot of
you're literally saying things back to me.
And Mike's standards for what needs to be like a qualification for the left, like with Bo, with Hunter here, like, oh, I'm gonna bring up something from like 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 years ago that we already talked about so much, and I'm gonna use it to try and degrade you so that I can get social credit points like they have in China. But so Mike from PA can get social credit points or whatever, so his popularity number can go up. I think that's really slimy. And oh, you're not really a social democrat, you're a liberal, you're a social liberal. Like, oh my god, dude.
That I just said in this segment. It's obvious that you sat here and watched it and then refined what you were going to say. So let me ask you this. Is this tweet yours? Did you say this? This snake was literally at a... Okay,
you're actually confronting what I'm actually saying. I'm having trouble dealing with what I'm actually saying, which is you have put out and continue to have harmful content. Maybe you should talk to some of your new friends about the anti-feminist stuff. And you saying that you are the... No, see, you're not attacking feminists. See, you're doing a advanced critique, offsetting liberal feminism from true socialist feminism, but you're not a socialist. So why are you...
I'm saying there's a difference between real feminist efforts versus pop feminism. But we've already moved off because you've denied making this claim, and you have lied about it, and then you're not letting me actually read your tweet.
I didn't lie anything. Go ahead.
You said that
you got reading comprehension.
This snake was literally at Turning Point USA events at the end of 2019 attacking transgender people.
Yeah.
So do you know what my speech at Penn State was about?
But he's a leftist, I promise. It's like a social club. Like, oh, he's in our group, I promise. Oh, he's a real friend. Like, he really fits this label, I promise. This label matters more to me than anything else in the world. I want another ideology to be made other than what we have right now. Like socialist, that label, I really can't stand the real world applications. Even if you believe the tenets of like workplace democracy and stuff, dude, I want a whole new name for that. Like, I don't know, just working power, like I said before, working class Democrat, or any of that. Like, I want to reclaim labels that have power. I don't want to keep on using these fringe labels that only like academics use and cringy people online. And I guess some college students are using the label socialist now. But this purity politics of subtraction doesn't work. You need a politics of addition in order for your movement to grow. And I don't know, dude. Bernie understood that. He didn't really care about the socialist label that much. He just didn't outwardly support like capitalism or any of that.
Were you attacking transgender people in 2019? Yes.
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, I'd already taken down my Truth About Transgenders video, and that's why.
Well, yeah, I prefer progressive, but even that word, I feel like a lot of people who don't care about progressive values co-opted the word progressive. I want something just working, like, you can say you're progressive and that can mean social issues, but it's not really an indicator for economic issues. Like Jim Clyburn calls himself a progressive. Can he be socially progressive? Sure. But I feel like progressive speaks more to social issues now. It used to be economic, obviously, with like the Roosevelts and everything. But now I feel like we need an economic indicator that's more bare bones, more simplified, more real world, less LARPy, and less inside the entire historical story of where socialism has fallen. Get it? Fallen? Where socialism has fallen throughout history.
I had to search for it on your live stream because I saw the VOD. You couldn't find it because it's been taken down. And if you had actually gone on my channel...
Yeah, but when was it posted? When was the Truth About Transgenders
in 2016, at the very beginning of 2016.
Okay. I'm sorry, that's right. You were attacking transgender people. You were being brought in to...
Well, I think Bernie Sanders calling himself a democratic socialist is helping my point because he needed to call it democratic socialism. He couldn't just... There is no difference between being a socialist and being a democratic socialism. Maybe you're just more Americanized. But he needed to add the word democratic before socialism as a way to make it less toxic and make it more applicable.
Is you were not... That video was old. And you made a new video recently about the truth of transgenders.
I made another video 11 months ago called The Truth About Transgenders.
11 months ago.
Debunking... Hold on, wait, you're not letting me finish.
What year was that?
Mike, this video was debunking my notorious transgender video, okay? I'm going through explaining why the original video was wrong.
So when would you say you transitioned from being alt-right or right-wing?
I mean,
Mike is, like, avoiding the points here. He's bringing up a bunch of things that are simply not true, that he didn't look into enough, and Hunter is just dominating him. But Mike keeps on sliding around everywhere. Like, this video right here is literally Hunter Avallone disproving one of his old videos where he was wrong and on the far right. You know, the new Hunter Avallone telling the old Hunter Avallone why he was wrong. And Mike from PA is bringing up this video as an example of something that Hunter's doing wrong. He has no idea. I don't know why he would make these claims about another person publicly, as a public figure, of course. I don't know why he would do that with zero information.
I was even defending like trans people. Now, granted, probably not as well as I could have been. But I was even defending transgender people back in like the end of, when was the Jessica Yaniv thing? Because hold on, I'm going through my channel to try to find out.
Okay, but so I think your point about that. So you really want to have a debate with me over the exact month where you made a specific about my character.
No, that's the opposite of it. It's just that you're lying about me, right? So that's the first thing that I wanted to clear up, is that you're saying that I'm at Penn State attacking transgender people, but that's not true.
But you were invited to Penn State by Turning Points because you were a famous alt-right YouTuber, right?
That's wrong. No, I was invited to TPUSA for a censorship event where I then talked about how conservative censorship isn't happening, which led to my massive fallout with the alt-right and got me attacked by people like Mark Dice.
Why did Turning Points USA invite you?
Because they didn't know that, because I hadn't actually...
Oh, they didn't know, so you were invited.
Absolutely buttons. DM me on Discord some information about that.
Because you were an alt-right.
Wait. I was still labeled myself a conservative at that time. Yeah, that's everyone knew that. I hadn't actually made my formal announcement about leaving the right, but I was... Hold on, but I was...
But I want, for my fans and other people that watch this, when did you stop labeling yourself conservative publicly?
In the beginning of 2020. I think it was in March.
So...
That was publicly. But I was already fighting with the right a ton throughout 2019.
So your problem is that you weren't actually attacking transgender people at that event. But you were attacking transgender people up until basically 2020.
No, false again. Okay?
This hits on a... So Hunter Avallone's transition hits on a bigger point that I make about politics. How, like, social issues and social groups reinforce policy and political decisions more than actual, like, policy evaluations do. Hunter Avallone, before he shifted all of his opinions to the correct ones on the left, before he shifted to the left, he needed to have a social falling out with the right wing before he was able to do that. And I talk about this a lot. People usually don't have well thought out economic ideologies, or even an ideology in general. They fall into social groups, and they get very arrogant and stuck in their own ways. So Hunter Avallone, he wasn't gonna come to the right side if he never had that fallout with the far right. That fallout socially is what led to his positions changing on a factual basis.
I listen. My stances and opinions on trans people started changing more and more behind the scenes, and that's reflective in my content. You can go back
to credit for something you didn't.
I'm not asking for credit. See how you keep pivoting to that? I'm not asking for credit here. I'm just explaining.
You're saying that I lied about you when I might.
Yes, because you said I was at a Turning Point USA event at the end of 2019 attacking transgender people. Your claim there is that at the end of 2019, so very recently, Hunter was attacking trans people. That is your claim, and your claim is wrong. And I think you should concede that.
Attacking trans people? When did you? I mean, gosh, I guess I can go through your fucking entire YouTube catalog.
Why don't you just concede that you were wrong here in this claim, and we can move on to the next part of the conversation?
The claim was you were literally at a Turning Point USA event at the end of 2019.
Attacking trans people.
That's right.
And I didn't attack trans people at that event. The opposite. At that point, by this time, just so you know, by this point, okay, I had made videos attacking anti-vaxxers. I had made videos defending trans people very largely. I had
anti-vax? Is that a alt-right thing?
It's a far-right thing, yeah. Guess what? It lost me a lot of subscribers.
Yes, it is. Mike knows this. I've seen him say this before. He knows anti-vax is a far-right thing. It's not a left-wing thing to be anti-vax.
I made a video attacking people
because anti-vax movements are built on a fundamental misunderstanding and distrust of, like, institutions. And, these pillars of academia and these medical institutions are usually the ones that make these vaccines. And then the far right is also much more susceptible to conspiracy theories about anything. So they believe more conspiracy theories about vaccines. Therefore, a lot more far right people are going to be more anti-vax. And you'll see this with people on the far left that are more of the populist, like Nico House. He'll be really anti-vax. He's really conspiratorial. Anybody that believes conspiracy believes grand narratives, and anybody that distrusts academia and, like I said, the medical space, they're going to be more likely to be anti-vax.
realists. I made a video going through debunking race realism bullshit, okay? A lot of the times, hold on, a lot of the times these videos were marketed in a way that did look offensive from the outside. If you see a video that says the truth about black people, of course that sounds fucking...
I have you here in November 4th, 2019 with transgender kids. It's time to stop. Prepare to be shocked. Today we examine the dangerous push by the left for transgender children to undergo early and irreversible transitioning.
I was talking about some niche... I was
talking... October 20... Okay, so I have a video, a picture of you. The event was on October 23rd, 2019. On your YouTube, right now, November 4th, 2019, transgender kids, it's time to stop. You were attacking transgender people.
No, I wasn't. That's not true, actually. In that video, no.
Right now? I'm making a point. Stop talking. So you here are claiming that there's this big push by the left to do irreversible transitions of children.
That's actually wrong. In that video, I talked about puberty blockers. That's not true.
In that transphobic.
No, in that what I was doing, okay, as my channel, hold on, as my opinions were developing and changing, I was communicating that in my channel in a way that would be digestible to a more right-wing audience. If you watch that video, you'll see at the end, I actually talk about a good option for treatment oftentimes is puberty blockers. I was talking about these niche situations where there was like I think an actual like experiment done. I'm not sure. I would have to go back and look at the video. But either way, that was before I announced that I had formally left the right. And literally,
so you were pushing, so what I'm saying is,
no.
Well, this is what Mike from PA needs to do. It's like a ladder system. You have to keep on hitting people who are slightly bigger than you and a lot bigger than you, so you can keep on causing drama. And every little bit of drama you cause, you can climb on top of that to make yourself bigger. He's not going to fight people on the right because there aren't many prominent people on the right that can benefit Mike from PA. He can get a bunch of like LARPy socialists to follow him off of a beef with, you know, a beef about purity, an argument about purity with Hunter Avallone. Mike from PA can get people that are going to follow him in a zealot type sense. He's not going to get that from honest people who are trying to have like real debates ideologically. Like, it's just the kind of audience he needs to cultivate, because as an individual content creator, he really isn't that impressive. There's nothing about Mike from PA that people can't get like literally anywhere else.
My point of view, pushing a dangerous narrative that there's a bunch of leftists out there trying to forcibly transition children is garbage.
That's not what I said. I don't believe that's what I said in that video.
The video is about trying to highlight this move by the left.
Mike obviously never saw the video, but yet he is still coming on very confident here.
A move by a few fringe people. You say a move by the left.
I still identified as a conservative then, dude. What do you not understand from that?
Why don't you understand that you were anti-trans when you were
but Mike from PA is doing what's good for his channel. Hunter Avallone's channel died because he went left. Hunter Avallone gets like Xander Hall numbers on his videos now. He used to go huge with every video that he put up. He doesn't do it anymore. He can't anymore.
Points USA events.
He lost his right-wing audience.
Oh my, yes, first of all, yes it is. But so that you've moved so far away from the initial claim you made, which was that I was at this event attacking trans people.
Hunter, the claim I made has been fully substantiated. I claimed you were attacking trans people and you were going to Turning Points USA events. Now, you're right. You didn't attack trans people at that event. But a week later, you went back home and you published a YouTube video spreading propaganda that's used against trans people.
First of all, I would have to go back to look through that video, okay? But I know for a fact that that was my
dude. But he's not punching up for any reason whatsoever. At least if I see another content creator like arguing with a bigger one, there's an actual disagreement. Like if Demon Mama debates Destiny or like Vosh, they have an ideological debate. They're not even debating right here. They're just running over what is factual and what's not factual. And Mike from PA, he's virtue signaling and purity testing Hunter Avallone. This isn't an actual debate on anything. They aren't. What topic are they debating right now? Hunter's history. Mike is trying to prove that Hunter is a grifter. I mean, not everybody does it the way that Mike does it. If he challenged somebody on a real issue, that'd be different.
Legacy.
That's not
now, guess what?
Hold on.
Guess what?
Do I get a chance to talk? Do I get a chance to talk?
You haven't let me finish a sentence. Every time I make a sentence, you start talking in the middle. So the problem that we're having here is that I would like you to change. But the first step to rehabilitation and restorative justice is for you to admit that these were harmful, these were dangerous, and they don't represent you anymore.
I would have to go back to look. Hold on.
Every single one of the videos you don't agree with anymore, because that would be a substantial move.
So first of all,
a substantial move for you.
Okay, can I respond now, please, Mike?
You don't believe this anymore.
I know you just want to preach at me, but I also want to respond.
I'm preaching. I'm giving you an example of restorative justice.
All right, go ahead. Give me the list. I'm gonna write it down.
That would be
restorative justice. What I hate when Mike brings that up too. I don't think he really believes in it.
Private the videos that publish ideas you don't agree with anymore.
Okay.
That would be the first step.
All right.
The second would be apologize.
Hunter Avallone. There is nothing about him that's a grifter. You have a big blind spot for Mike from PA, because he came into this conversation with zero facts. He knows nothing about what he's talking about. Hunter Avallone going to the left made him a lot less popular and hurt him financially. That is the opposite of a grifter, the complete opposite. Calling him a grifter is dumb, unless if your argument is that Mike from PA is not a bad person. He's simply a dumb person.
Bad videos you made.
Maybe.
And third, stop making videos attacking feminists, attacking leftists that you don't know, you've never talked to. And
that's what Mike is doing right now.
I won't have to go and point out that one of your top videos is calling AOC an idiot. Your other top
First
videos
of all, I'm
are
not really worried about the
hard-right
AOC thing.
videos.
I don't have to agree with your your like left stuff to be like considered rehabilitated. So we can
So
move
you
off the
think of
AOC
AOC
thing.
as an idiot? You think of
I would
AOC
have
as
to
an idiot.
these are older videos. I'd have to go back and look at. So let's actually go through this.
Yeah, because you want to keep that money rolling. You like that AOC hate money.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta keep that money.
Hey, Mike, can I talk now, please? Because you gave me a list, and I'd like to go through this. So the first thing, private the videos. If
Okay, I gotta go through his actual numbers. Like,
you'd like, we can pull up my social blade and look at how I have already privated a fuck ton of my videos. My most
Still do
popular.
more harmful shit. I was
Hold
able
on,
to find one
hold
right
on.
here.
Wait, can you wait, please? Some of these videos that I removed had over 3 million views, and I purged my channel of over 20 million views. Now, some of these videos that are still up, that are kind of old, that I might not agree with, are not monetized. And some of these videos that you're pointing to, like the transgender children one, that wasn't that long ago, I would have to look over that video again. But either way, your assertion that I need to private videos, I have done, largely.
dude,
Now,
what money is Mike from PA talking about? This is not grifter numbers. Like, at my peak, I was hitting like these numbers. When I was going really hard over the summer, I was hitting like 10,000 views a day. For like a short period there. This isn't good, and I have a super small channel. Like, I don't know what Mike's talking about at all.
I don't know if you know this. I'm
That
not saying this to be
AOC
mean,
hate
but
money, he doesn't get Jimmy Dore viewers. He's a liberal. He's a centrist.
if I were to just terminate or like nuke every video, that would essentially kill my channel even more than it's already been murdered because I moved away from the right. So,
Okay, so your concern is your financial.
no,
the financial
wrong.
Oh my God, this is
No,
so
it's that I cannot
slimy.
just, I
He's such a
cannot
bad
literally,
guy,
I
dude.
literally cannot just nuke my entire channel. This has to be done in a process. Okay, and the next thing you said, apologize.
Transition to like making left-wing content. You want to do it slowly.
No,
over
I'm not,
time.
I'm not. Like, this is what you think that I'm here to like try to make this like left wing content when that's not my goal. My intention here.
Let's look at these
Did you-
numbers. Okay. How big
Or
of a
did you not
deficit?
That's
a lie,
10
boys.
million. 10 million views he took off. Hunter Avallone took off between March and September 2019. Cut off 12 million views. Right here, cut off around like 4 million views. 3 million. 2.5 million. So he's been decreasing the videos on his channel as he goes through them and surveys them and reviews them and sees what he disagrees with now, and he corrects it. He doesn't just nuke his entire channel, and I have no problem with that. He shouldn't just hide everything that he used to do. If anything, he should put disclaimers on those videos, maybe in the comments or something. He should leave them up so that other people can learn from this and see where he came from to where he is now, and we can study the process of what it took for him to move from the right to the left, the far, far right to the center left as a social liberal, as Mike from PA says.
Reasoning the well right there. One, I was not alt-right. In fact, I was never really considered alt-right, even when I was pretty far right. And
You were
did
more just like, well, how would you describe it? Kind of like
I definitely associated with people that were alt-right, and I fucking.
Would you call Sargon of Akkad alt-right?
Yeah, that's why
That
I was
wasn't
arguing.
his argument at the beginning. That's one of the many arguments Mike from PA is making. The idea that Mike from PA came in saying, oh, you punch the left too much, that he didn't bring that, like, that's around the 15th charge Mike raised about Hunter Avallone. Mike is gish galloping. He's bringing up a million things, hoping that one of the attacks actually hits.
With him that entire conference. Another detail you left out, by the way, in your video on me.
About whether or not you guys were getting demonetized by tech.
And I was telling him he wasn't, and that it was a conservative victim mentality. I've literally still defend those statements. That was the beginning of my fallout with the right. Like the.
I agree with you with that. I mean,
Okay,
the
great.
conservative
So
victim
click my
mentality is the
social blade
core-
now. I want you
is
to look
the
at something.
core. Did you link it to me?
Yeah, I put it down in the chat
Okay,
right
cool,
here.
cool. Okay, sorry, I wasn't looking at that. Okay,
So click this, and
Okay,
you'll
I'm
see.
looking.
Go down to monthly gained video views. So first of all, you can see my sub growth.
yes, I can see your subgraph.
You can see how great those grifter numbers are doing. All right.
Okay, yep.
And then yeah, you can go over here. You can see in June of 2019, I terminated.
Okay, hold on. What month did you pivot from the right?
When I came out as being more of a centrist, it would have been March, I believe. Which you can see right before then, and before that also. In June of 2019, I deleted nearly 12 million channel views. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, that's more views than your entire Twitch channel has. Then, if you go over here to the month of December 2019, you can see that I deleted another 3.5 million views. Then, if you go over here to the month of July 2020, you can see I terminated
sorry about
another
that noise.
2.8 million views. So you asked me to delete the videos. I have been doing that. Like I said, it's a process. You can see here that it's been still moving in a process. And actually, I've been gearing up to start purge another batch of these videos. But nonetheless,
Okay, so you agree
most
with
of
me,
these
but you
videos are
wanna
not
do it in a way that's
monetized.
the most. Okay, so you agree with me. You just want to do it the most advantageous way for your channel.
My dude, do you think if I was prioritizing my channel benefiting, do you think I would have
Wait,
ever?
why aren't you answering? Why are you answering the question with a question? Yes,
Because I
is
thi-
the answer.
Okay, somebody said that all Hunter Avallone does is punch left. Mike from PA, that's from today. Nationalism is cringe. Rainbow capitalism is good. That's an argument that you can make from the left. Why it's good for corporations to support social issues on the left. Insane criticism. Going at a black conservative. Yes, this is racist. Karen movie is awful. White nationalists are bad. Steven Crowder is bad. New sexuality just dropped. Why I hate Pride Month. I didn't see that one, but this is 90% punching right. Jimmy Dore punching right again, punching at Jimmy Dore. Yeah, Kirk, Owen. Yeah, this is fascism. He doesn't punch left as a grift. If you look at Mike from PA's channel.
No, because I mean,
Okay,
no,
then do
yeah,
it all
no.
now, but then it'll kill your channel, which means
As if he's making money from
yourself.
it.
Either
So you
you're
want me to
doing it
nuke my
because-
entire channel?
No, I think you should leave up all the positive videos that you have that are great that you.
I would have to go back to those videos that you're pointing out to see
I mean,
if
that's
they
the
have
hard
any
work, I
fundamental
guess,
disagreement that I
the
still
hard
have.
work of saying that you're leaving the alt-right is to go back and review all the damage you've done.
Mike,
and saying,
I've done
well,
this.
I've done all this
Stop
damage.
it. You're gatekeeping
Well,
again.
make it-
So
I'm
what?
not
Here's what you're
gatekeeping.
saying.
I'm
No,
telling you
let's.
what someone who is actually sorry
care
for
what-
what you did would do. Like, come on, man.
Is it true that you used to be a former Republican?
Dude, this was before I was any kind of public figure.
So what? Is it true that you used to be a registered
Wait,
Republican?
Mike used to be a Republican, and his argument is that was before I was a public figure. Well, okay, now you went left when you are in the public light, and you're going super far left, more far left than you've ever been before. Once you get into the public light, oh my God, grifter energy.
Absolutely. People can
Are
change.
you
Guess
serious?
I
What?
believe in changing. I believe in changing.
Interesting.
change.
Wait, you
People
switched
can
to being a
change.
Democrat just so you could run against the candidate that already BTFO'd your mom in the same race? Oof. That sounds
Okay,
really
so wait-
griftery, dude.
wait a minute,
Apparently you
wait a
rago over
minute.
50K? Shit.
First of all, I raised over 100K. You should go
Holy
look it up.
fuck, this guy raised over
And you know-
100K by just
and you
switching
know-
to being a Democrat.
And do you
Sounds
know
like something a
how-
grifter would
you know
do.
who I raised? You know who I raised it from? You know who I raised it from?
Who?
That would be Planned Parenthood. That would be the AFL-CIO.
Holy
That
shit,
would
so
be
you
from-
switched to
that
the
would
left
be-
and got a
that
bunch
would
of
be
money and
Equality
benefited from this
PA.
and got some
No,
publicity?
dumb motherfucker, that's the point. I actually did real work. Campaigning with real people, had the support of real
I've heard your speech and I don't really need it.
wasn't
What you're doing right now
I
is...
wasn't in Turning Points USA doing cancer shit. After Bernie Sanders had announced his second campaign, you were out there.
I've seen
spreading
your clips, man.
propaganda.
I've seen you spreading your
are-
bullshit about Bernie and, oh, he's going to win, and then you got really embarrassed when
way,
he didn't.
by
and
the
I think it's good to have really centrist people arguing for these ideas. I think it's pretty bad if we only have like socialist and leftist people making these arguments. I think it's really good to have people from the center right, the center, and the center left making pro-freedom, pro-democracy arguments. Like even a counterpoints, whatever he likes to be called, counterpoints. Those people are pretty effective, I would say. You need to reach a bunch of different audiences. Not everybody's going to be reached by like Vosh, who talks about like furries and market socialism and like TikTok all day and a lot of other really niche stuff. Not everybody's going to be reached by like Gamer Boy, Cringy Gamer, Destiny. Not everybody's going to be reached by who else? Sam Cedar, who is a boring, more, normal radio personality, or a David Pakman. They all serve a different role in media, getting different people on their sides. So like you need a lot of diversity, making arguments on your side.
But we don't need to
So,
talk
wait a
about
minute,
any of this right now because
First of all,
what
were you even a supporter of Bernie Sanders?
when in the general
Did you
this last-
support? I used to be like this. I used to be so cringy. Oh my God. People who were actually involved in politics looked at me like I was such an idiot when I'd be like, did you vote for Bernie Sanders? If you did not vote for Bernie Sanders, you simply don't care about other human beings. Like, because that's the attitude I got listening to Kyle Kalinske, Jimmy Dore, and all these people who are very morally pure. I used to believe supporting Bernie Sanders made you a good person, and if you voted for somebody else, then you were either a bad person or dumb. Like I literally, oh boy, I'm happy I'm not like that anymore.
No, I voted for Biden.
So you were never a supporter of Bernie Sanders, and you're
No,
telling
no,
me
no, that's
why-
not true. No, I liked Bernie Sanders. I did, but
You liked Bernie Sanders,
Yeah.
right? Okay. You liked him in hindsight. Now that your friends are Bernie Sanders supporters,
okay,
you now
my
are
dude, you're jumping
truthfully
all around right now. And what you're trying to do is
trans-
preach to me, and it's not going to work. So let's get back to
But
what we were
it's not
talking about
preaching.
first of all.
This is just an
What
example
you're
of
trying to
your So here's the thing about you.
Mike,
You-
no,
you
I don't want your
specialize your
psychoanalyzing
career-
right now. You need to let
specialize
me
your career
respond.
At bad faith attacks on people's character.
That's what
The
you're doing
essence
right now,
of
labeling me a
your-
former fascist. Give me a fucking break. Now what?
Former, I mean that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you former in quotes because you're implying that I'm still a fascist. Okay,
I think you're more of an opportunist. I don't think that you're a
I
fascist.
get what
You just kind of
I
do
know
it,
what you
make
think,
what
Mike,
you-
but I
think
really
you're
want to get back to what you're saying. So
It's
you're trying to basically
It's okay.
gatekeep. You're saying it
You
doesn't
are an
count.
opportunist. You took an opportunity to get less money. How dare you take? Oh my God! That's a pretty personal criticism to levy at somebody. That they're like, now they're taking a bunch of internet hate over opportunity because of, I don't know, you had a chance to blow up or something. Although Hunter did, if he's an opportunist, he's a pretty shitty opportunist, I'd have to say.
Not a gatekeep.
No,
man.
yes, you are. You're
It's
saying
not a
unless you
gatekeep for
purge your
for me to
channel of
say,
every single video all at once this very instant, then it's just because you want your channel to
Why are you
benefit.
creating a straw man? Why are you creating a straw
Is
man?
that not what you just said?
I never said purge everything right this instant, do it right now.
You
Call
just-
me daddy. But what I
Did
said
he
is,
not
if you
just say
act-
this?
Okay, do you believe?
Hey, chat, can we get a clip,
Why
please?
do you, wait, why do
No,
you?
because I'm going
why
to hold
do
you to your words
believe-
because everything you
Yes,
tried to deny.
I gave you an example. I didn't stamp my feet and say do it all right this moment. I asked you why you haven't done it because you agree that they're harmful, right? Your old videos are harmful videos, right?
My harmful old videos I've largely removed. There's still some up that
so
I'm going to be
everything that's
removing.
up right now, you would say you agree with
No,
right now.
not
So-
everything. Stop.
so
You're doing it
so
again.
Are they harmful or do you agree with them?
There are some content. There's still some content up that I agree would be harmful that I don't agree with that I'm in the process of still removing, Mike. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
So there are harmful videos that people are watching, right? Some right wingers are still watching some of your videos.
I don't
right?
know. I mean,
people.
I've go look at how many subscribers I've lost. Like I purged my audience from far right wingers, and I'm now purging my audience of just like sometimes even regular right wingers. Like, you know how many people are calling me like a grifter, right wing, or I'm sorry, left wing soy boy shill or whatever, because now I think that like trans people deserve human rights and shit.
Everybody to the left of Attila the Hun is a soy boy.
Even the social blade numbers that it shows on the screen right here, if I can get it on the screen,
shill or whatever, because now I think that,
that's not that. Oh my goodness, that's not that much money though.
like trans people deserve.
He's not getting that good of view numbers. $20,000 a year on the max end, which means from ad revenue, Hunter Avallone is probably making on his YouTube videos, even with his view numbers, probably definitely less than 10K a year.
They call everybody to the left.
And he probably was making over $100,000 a year purely off ad revenue with his old channel before he went left.
As a soy boy to them.
I know, and anyone that's to the right of you,
he probably gets
like
donations
so,
and stuff on Twitch. But
you just created I am not vouch talking about Bush here. Okay.
First of all, I would like to just get back to what we were.
I don't call everybody a fascist and delete the term. I think Sargon of Akkad is a fascist.
Did you call me a fascist?
Did I call you a fascist? I don't know if
Here we go again. We're gonna keep on doing
Mike
it.
from PA literally made a tweet calling Hunter Avallone like a mini fascist or whatever, and now Mike from PA is going, did I call you a fascist? I forget. Dude, you don't forget. You literally did this like a couple hours before this conversation. Like, oh, did you tweet that did you call me this thing on Twitter 2 hours ago? I don't know. I forget.
I did or not?
Dude, you're so fucking disingenuous. No, you didn't.
If I call it, it's not disingenuous. I literally don't recall it.
That's right. You know what? You're right. Disingenuous is the wrong word. You're
did I call you?
Yes. Here's the tweet. Quote, former fascist with values to the right of Antonin Scalia.
Okay.
This is you put former in quotes. What do you think that means?
Former. Yeah. No. You were all right. No. Okay. That's good. Okay. I
So
think
when
it's
you
probably
put
fair to
former
call
in
you a
quotes,
fascist.
are you not
Antonin Scalia
trying to imply that what I'm doing there is
Why did you delete that?
That I'm still a
tweet, by the
fascist?
way? Why did you delete the tweet about burning flags as cringe?
I clarified because for the same reason that I think that burning the flag is kind of cringy is the same reason that I deleted the tweet because I think that the messaging can sometimes come across in a way that harms.
Wait, Mike from PA said this before. Mike from PA was talking to Destiny, and Mike said, "I don't say ACAB because it's not good for our overall messaging. It's not good to grow our movement. It might alienate people." Mike from PA took this position. He took Hunter Avallone's position less than a year ago, and now Mike from PA is screaming at Hunter Avallone, saying he's being disingenuous. Everything Mike does is a big red flag. Big red flag. Like, holy crap, dude.
Potential to grow your movement. And in this case, as a public figure, I have a responsibility to make sure that my messaging is interpreted properly.
So burning the flag, should that be illegal or is it just cringe?
Notice how you criticize me right here. He's wielding the cringe baton like every other right-winger online. You seem very
like every other right-winger online. Doesn't everybody ironically call everything cringe?
Isn't that what you do?
Hold on, wait.
Isn't that what you do? Isn't that what you do in most
Mike,
of your videos?
I'm
Like,
making a broader point. You're not going to just cut in here and gish gallop me, okay?
I'm asking you. Isn't that what you do in most of your videos? What you do is you find
Here we go
someone as a
again.
target.
He's literally,
and then
you do
attack them
pivot
as
so
cringe,
much.
right?
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna have to gear up. I have to remember how much you pivot. So you've made it very well known, okay, that you don't like the use of my word cringe. Do you think that saying something's cringy is the same as advocating for something to be illegal?
No, I didn't say that.
So why did you say that I share the position? Hold on. In your video, you said I share the position with Donald Trump, and then played a clip of Donald Trump saying you should go to prison for burning the flag, something that I myself have criticized Donald Trump for.
So first of all, that's not what I did. I explained.
Do we want to go back and look at the clip since you're denying everything that you've done?
Go and watch the clip. Okay. I was showing the context of why the difference between burning the flag and pledging of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance is done to every 5-year-old in American schools.
It's also really weird because then you went on to like
brainwashing. Why are you talking? It's disgusting and
tore down a
children do the leftist organized allegiance. Everybody who's not an American looks at that and goes, "That's fucking weird."
Wait, hold on 1 second.
But
It's a position.
Donald Trump is out there, and the Republican Party tried to get a constitutional amendment to make it illegal to burn the flag.
I know, that's
That
really fucking
isn't
bad.
necessarily true. Although I do agree it's cringy. It's not true that other countries look at our Pledge of Allegiance and think it's like a crazy thing. The idea that people are forced to do it or really coerced to do it, and the social pressure is so huge over worshiping our flag and our country, without caring about the substance behind it. That might look weird to other countries, but it's not as crazy as Mike from PA is making it out to be. People love their making it out to pee. After drinking tons of water. But other countries are proud to be like Canadian and proud to be German and I don't know, English. Like,
and they have arrested people, they have assaulted people for burning the flag.
All right, I'm trying to watch the clip now. So can
in
you hold on 1 second, please?
in a 5-4 decision, Antonin Scalia
All right, hold on.
sided with the liberals.
I know.
in order
I'm
to
very
make
glad
it
about that. I've
legal.
defended this multiple
Now-
times. You're preaching
Now
to
you're out there
someone who
saying-
already agrees with me.
now
my
you're
friend.
out there saying burning the flag is cringe because of who you are.
No. Okay.
And you don't understand.
Can we just watch the clip,
people.
please? Because you're just preaching to me, and I'm begging you to just shut up for a minute so I can watch the clip.
This is not
Trying
these are
to
called
make
arguments.
leftist organizers and radical people marginalized among the
while I
left.
show my
Fuck
chat.
you.
I'm gonna have to show my
First
chat.
time you've ever heard them.
No, I have to show my chat the clip here where you try to compare my position to Donald Trump's. So do you want to hold on just 1 second? It's at the 6-minute mark of your video.
With a capital fuck you. And the other thing is, I got to tell you that this is a position that's shared with Donald Trump.
Are you playing?
This is a position that's shared with Donald Trump or by Donald Trump. That's what you said.
Yes, Trump got on the podium, and when they said, "What do you think should happen about people burning the American flag?" Trump did not say we should like put them in prison for 10 years. He actually said, "This is what Trump said. I think burning the flag is very bad. It's very cringe for people to do because if we burn the flag, if people on the left burn the flag, it's going to hurt the ability for the Democratic Party to grow their coalition. I think it's bad to burn the American flag because I really care about the growth of leftist values. That's why I don't want them to burn the American flag." Donald Trump totally showed much concern for the pragmatism of the left. You know, Trump and Hunter Avallone have basically the same position here.
That's the quote.
Hold on 1 second. Let me watch the clip.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. You've got such a delay on your stream, so it's really.
I do have a delay on the stream, yeah. My internet sucks.
This is a position that's shared with Donald Trump.
I'm going to have to literally write
No,
down
you're
every...
right. No. So first of all, Donald Trump doesn't think they're equally cringy. Donald Trump thinks burning the flag is obviously should be illegal. So that's not a position shift. Now, the idea of
So are you admitting then that was a little bit of an unfair
what I would say
comparison?
is,
Because
what I would
obviously
say
me
is
saying
this-
something's cringy
this
isn't the same.
What I would say is he would agree that burning the flag is bad.
Okay.
And you agree with Donald Trump that burning the flag is bad, right?
I mean, I
That's
think
the
that...
thrust of
No.
the this is called a little bit of hyperbole, but go on.
Okay, so
When
I
I say
can
shared
literally... I don't know
position-
how much of my stream you saw, but I wrote out like a little explanation, so maybe if you'd like me to read it to you. What I said is that leftist...
Oh, you changed your position after you got a lot of pushback. And
No,
like,
this is another lie. I'm so glad you brought this up. Okay, great. Now I get to make you eat your words again. This is great for me.
You didn't
Thanks.
make me eat shit. You didn't make me eat shit.
All right, hold on. We're going to go ahead over to this one now. We're going to go ahead to... Here's this video.
If I was Hunter, I would drop a tactical N-word right now. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time, I'm sure.
Nope, that's not even true. But again, trying to poison the well.
You would defend the right to
All right, hold on.
right,
Wait,
defend
stop,
the right
because
to
you made a claim. That was...
It's impossible to have an actual conversation with somebody like Mike from PA. Did you hear what he just said? Yeah, I'm sure Hunter Avallone has used the tactical N-word before. Like, dude, come on, bro.
wrong again. Now we're going to keep on going through it. I don't care. All right, go to the 3-minute, 12-second mark here from a video in June 22nd, 2020,
All right, hold on.
where I say the same thing. Keep watching because I also clarify that it's a constitutional right and people are allowed to do it.
Okay, this is good. I'm listening. Okay,
Sorry,
Wait, what's the clip? Where
I
is
sent
that?
it to you in your Discord DMs.
Okay,
It's the truth about Trump at 3 minutes.
Okay, 3
No,
minutes.
or 3 minutes, 12 seconds.
I need to put this on.
Since I watched this
Alright,
clip.
there we go.
Cringy?
Hold on.
Rat
Here's what he
Weasley?
said.
Rat Weasel?
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of
Weasley.
times it kind of turns into a meaningless gesture that a lot of times people don't understand. But that's not the point. The point here...
People that do it are weaselly little rat, stupid little weaselly.
That's not the
douchey,
point, buddy.
rude,
Stop, okay?
Tend to be stupid little rat weasels. So
your claim
people
here
burning
was...
the flag are stupid little rat weasels.
Hold on.
And you're saying this is
You're
not
trying
a
so
Trumpian
hard.
position? Is this
You're trying so hard right now, Mike, and I appreciate it. I do, okay? But listen, your
Wait,
claim...
wait a
Just
minute. So you're,
stop.
So you are. So
Mike.
you do think burning the flag is stupid little rat weasels?
I wouldn't do
People
it.
burn the
I
flag.
don't advocate
Can
for
you
it.
tweet that right now? People that burn the flag are stupid little rat weasels.
Hey, Mike, I know that you're like trying to
do
like
that
back
for
me
me?
into something that looks optically
No, no.
bad because that's like all
But
you
is
care
that
about or
what
something.
they
But
are?
hold on, this
But-
is what
no,
you
no, no.
claimed. Your claim was you switched your position when you got pushback. But
That's
that
not a
clip...
switch position at all, my dude. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Thank you. Great. You've conceded my point. Thank you. Your claim was, quote, you switched your position when you got pushback. But from this video that you can see from last year, you can see that my
You did switch
position...
your position. I said go tweet. The people that burn the flag are weaselly little rat weasels. Just take that quote from 3 minutes
Wait,
and
did
go
you-
tweet it right now.
did you not make the claim that I switched-
There is no positive outcome you get from burning a flag. You are completely correct. There is no plus you get whatsoever from something like that. I can't really think of a scenario where that would be helpful in a democracy.
My position when I got
You
pushback.
changed your position, and now you tweet.
Wait,
now you
how was
tweet.
my-
Now you. So your former position was people that burn the flag are weaselly little rat weasels. That's your position.
And that it's a
Hunter.
constitutional right and that I was disappointed in Trump for advocating for that. You
But
leave
now
that
your-
part
now
out,
your
first of
tweet-
all.
Now your tweet is, then you change it. If you're okay pledging allegiance to the American flag, by default, you have to be okay with burning the American flag also.
Yeah.
That's not what you said. You said people burning the flag are weaselly little rat weasels.
That's not what I said in my tweet.
But you
That's-
need to be okay with it. You still need to be okay with it. You're okay if people do it, but they probably shouldn't.
I said they were
You
cringy.
changed your position. Yeah, well, I mean, you.
So the claim was that I changed my position. I'm still defending the first position, and I actually don't think those positions are all that different. Second of all,
So
you can go
so
back.
would you say it?
Mike,
Did you say right now that
stop.
people that burn? Just say it. Just say
No,
people
it's
that burn the
bothering
flag
me
are
because you're not letting
weaselly.
me get a word in. You're coming on
Say
here.
it.
No.
Say it. Say
What's a
it.
tiff, Mike?
Say
What's a
it.
tiff? Please tell me what a tiff is right now. You're doing the thing, okay?
Would you like
Stop.
to know?
Your- I know what it is.
Just say
You
it.
switched.
Just say it.
Wait.
Just say it. Just say it. Just say they're Weasley.
Do you think you
Just
look
say
good in
they're
this?
Weasley.
Do you think you look good in this conversation right now? Like trying to like pressure me to say something? Is this how bad you want a concession from me? You recognize the reason you're trying to dwell on this subject is because you realize very, very clearly that the claim you just made has once again been proven false. To your face, your claim, and I have this written down because I know you're going to try to deny it, was, quote, you switched your position when you got pushed back. And by me demonstrating that this clip shows that I have the same position then that I tweeted now proves that I did not change my position when I got...
Burning a flag during when it's being retired isn't the same as when you're doing it out of protest, though. Like, if you burn a human... I don't even know if this is a good comparison, but if you burn a human during cremation, actually, yeah, it's a good comparison. If you burn a human during a cremation, that isn't the same as setting somebody on fire who is alive. In the same way, if you burn a flag when you're retiring it, it's not the same as if you like rip a flag off the pole and just like stomp on it and start burning it. There are different value judgments made there, of course. There is a process to retire a flag for a reason.
Pushback. Second of all, the updated tweet.
Why did you delete the tweet?
I already explained. Because I didn't feel that it properly articulated what I wanted to
What
the message that I wanted to convey.
Sure,
I'll read this to you right here that I wrote this out, okay? Leftists
I'd
perceive
love
the
it.
flag as representing the country as a whole and oftentimes find a pledge focused on justice for all hypocritical when this country doesn't always fulfill those promises. This is a valid criticism, but burning the flag does not accurately communicate that criticism. When moderates see the flag being burned, they see it as an attack on liberty and justice for all, and in turn, you diminish the potential for growing your movement and appealing to a valuable voter bloc. Who could agree with you if you communicated your points better? Symbols are only as valuable as what they communicate, and if they are only communicating your point to your own group who already agree with you, you need a new symbol. This is why ACAB is also a stupid slogan, with a potentially valuable underlying message.
Did you say that again? ACAB is a stupid slogan?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you believe that, right? Don't you kind of agree?
No, not at all.
Oh,
not at all.
Are you sure about that?
What I said about ACAB was
He said
it's not probably the single best way of appealing to moderate voters, but I would
That means he said it's a bad slogan. What does a slogan do? If you say a slogan cannot be used in your political activism because it wouldn't be good as a slogan, you're saying it's a bad slogan, bro.
absolutely agree with the content of what it says, which is that police officers exist in our society, and what function do they serve?
But I thought
They-
that you said
they
to
serve to
Destiny that
protect-
you would never
No, that's
say
not what I said.
ACAB.
That's not what I said. I mean, maybe
Really? You never said that you wouldn't say ACAB because it doesn't appeal to
back in
moderates?
2019, back in 2019, as a politician, I wouldn't say ACAB. And
Has
Bernie
your
Sanders-
have your positions
Bernie
changed in the last 2 years? Wait, are you
No.
admitting to being a
What?
grifter again? Hold up, buddy.
What?
I'm gonna send this over to you.
What? So here's
I'm gonna send this over to you real quick.
Here's the problem with you, Hunter, is you're confused about what my position is. My position is not that
Yeah,
you
I'm the
can't
one who's
change.
confused here. I got you.
You're-
All right, I'm gonna send this over to you really quickly.
Dude, you're not gonna let me talk. So I need to mute
This
it.
is at the 24-minute
So
mark.
what needs to happen? So what needs to happen is
I'm gonna
you
mute you now,
understand
too,
the
because
position.
I need to show this
People
clip
can
first.
change. People can change. People can change. That's okay. They can do it.
So, are you saying you've changed from 2019 when you said that you wouldn't say ACAB because it would ostracize moderates who could otherwise be on your side, which is literally my position with both ACAB and burning the flag, which it sounds like you already admitted previously that you agree with me there?
No, absolutely not.
All right, so I sent you this at the 24-minute mark.
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
check it out.
So the difference is, I say that there are positions that you may or may not articulate to certain audiences depending upon the context. However, I absolutely agree with ACAB and the arguments behind it. And
Just
it's
like I said, it was a valid
argument
criticism.
No, that's not what you said. You said some Weasley thing about how people have the right to do it, but it's bad to do it.
Does ACAB apply for the military? If you're gonna use the radical definition of what it means, like you're serving an evil system, therefore all cops are bad because they're all serving the same police state. Do they say the same thing for the military?
Because of this reason.
No, I
support
said
this
that it's
position,
inappropriate.
and
It
the
has bad
reason-
optics usually,
not
but it's still a
inappropriate. First of all-
constitutional right. So we're
First
gonna
of
go
all,
to
it depends. Okay,
we're
who
gonna
are
go
you to judge optics?
we're
What?
gonna go to this. Oh, I know.
Who the
Yeah,
fuck
coming
are
from the
you?
optics master himself. Okay,
Well,
Tiff
that's-
Lord
I
Mike
never-
from PA.
never
I know,
claimed
buddy.
to be the optics master, by the way. I'm just asking.
That's
who the
good
fuck are you
because
to
that would be
tell
another
police
lie
people?
on top of your mountain of
Well,
lies you've already told.
Okay, dude,
So let's go back to
come on,
this
man.
one.
You got your I melt snowflake shirt on right now. The optics master.
Yeah, you're a
Okay.
snowflake, dude. And guess what? There are right-wing
couldn't
snowflakes
melt-
and left-wing snowflakes.
You couldn't
Sometimes it
melt
happens.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Dude.
Coming from the
We
guy that
should hang out
argues like a
sometime. What do you
conservative
think? What do you
constantly.
think? Why
Listen,
don't we
I want
hang
you
out
to.
sometime?
Can you please just click this clip, please?
No, we should.
No, ACAB doesn't mean police reform is needed. You're assigning moral value to every cop because they serve an evil system. That isn't the same as like, oh, we need simple police reforms. Police reforms are very minor compared to we need to abolish the current police state and build it up in a better community model or whatever. Those are completely different things. ACAB is punchier for a reason. It advocates, it's not for reform. Maybe it is for like radical reform. I guess you can argue that, but that's not the rhetorical message it sends. You're sending like, oh, every cop is serving an evil system, regardless of how they act within that system. Like that's the core tenet of saying that.
We should hang out. We should hang out.
No, I'm afraid you would
You wanna
punch my
hang out?
couch. Okay, so click, please.
I'd put something. No, so let me ask
Mike,
you. so
I'm
I have a
begging you.
question.
I'm on my knees. I'm
I
on my
have a
hands and
question
knees
for you.
begging you to
Can I
click
finish
this
Did Mike
clip.
say he would punch Hunter? They want to fight the soy battle?
No, you
Can I-
finished
can I
multiple
finish
clips.
one
You've
point,
made multiple
dude?
points.
Can
And I
I
haven't been able
finish
to.
one
I'm going to
point,
mute you
dude?
while we look at this clip.
Can we look at
So Mike's saying he didn't say this. So let's go ahead and look at what he said.
controversial?
No, based on what you said, like in a lot of places in the United States, yeah, of course I would agree with this for sure. And that's but the ACAB thing, like you're saying, Mike, do you say ACAB? And I personally wouldn't, because I'm trying to get actual progressive politicians elected, and I recognize that for normies, ACAB is so world-shaking, mind-bending of a statement to make to them that they're going to rebel. And you know why that is? Because working as a police officer is one of the few remaining jobs.
I'm still watching you make my point.
From like a poor or middle class background where they get a secure pay, they get benefits. So they probably know some police officers in their family or extended family. So if I come up to them and say, "Hey, white person, ACAB," I'm probably alienating people that I could win over.
That's fine. Okay, we both agree then. We're both anti-ACAB.
Okay, so your claim was, if I went up to a white person and said, "Hey, ACAB," then I'm alienating people I could win over, which is the exact claim and justification for my initial tweet and why I said that ACAB is.
I don't know why they have to say if you go up to a white person and say this. I think that's a really online way to look at it. Like, if you talk to black people, they also generally like, and you can't even say they. You can't say they for white or black people as a block, because the opinions around policing are very diverse across each community. Like, the black community isn't like, we need to abolish police. If you look at the actual data, a lot of black people are more conservative. There are many conservative. Not every black person is going to be a socialist, progressive, whatever. You know, whatever the white people online think black people are. Like, oh, if you go up to a white person and say ACAB, that'll hurt your movement. Dude, if you go up to a black person and say ACAB, it might hurt your movement. Like, what do you think this is? You think in these areas with a super high crime rate, they want no cops? Are you kidding me? They want environmental fixes that'll prevent crime from happening. Cops don't prevent crime, but you still want to have you still want to have police around versus not having them around at all if you're in these positions.
Really stupid thing. I also agree, by the way, that the police system is corrupt and delivers very racist outcomes and needs to be addressed. I don't think the proper way to address that is by screaming ACAB. You agree with me, Mike?
And then you know I don't, and you didn't let you stop the clip so early because I go on to clarify why it's important.
Well, I don't like ACAB too. I don't agree with the premise that people use when they define it. I know a lot of local police departments work directly. They work hand in hand with local colleges, criminal justice programs and sociology programs. My sociology head department chair at my school works with the local sheriff every week on how to fix the way they approach policing. So, like, are they all evil? This community borough, oh my god, I can't talk. Whatever, the jurisdiction here, borough. You know, the police department for these local jurisdictions and these local counties and these local communities, are they all evil? No, they aren't evil. They aren't even in the same type of system as a cop who's a city cop in New York City, which is basically like a mini military. These are completely different things, dude. You can't use one blanket term to describe all of this.
Defend ACAB as a concept to people.
And if you have to approach issues on a national scale with policing, and I've criticized the AOC for this before, when she said defund the police, you need a more palatable message. Defund the police is good for punchy activist demands at like a local level, maybe in an overfunded police department in a city. I guess you can use Minneapolis, New York City, Chicago, like you can use something like defund the police there and it can be effective. But nationally, you want something more palatable for a bigger audience, because it is a democracy. You need more people to agree with your message, and less people are going to fall for a radical message. It's just how it is. If you want to really help people's material and environmental conditions.
That's right, because I watched this where you were like trying to have both sides, right?
You
where
can
were
have both sides. You can have both sides. It's called
not anti-ACAB. Well, my point is that's a political strategy.
It's a political strategy.
It's important for you to go out there in your audience right here and go, instead of what you are doing, which is this is cringe, let's attack the activists, because that's where you made your bones, right? What you should be doing, what you should be doing is explaining to your audience who care about politics, hopefully, that what ACAB represents is this, this, and this. So it's a surprising slogan. It's a slogan of the street. It's a slogan of activists, and it's going to surprise a lot of people who grew up in the propaganda that if you're in trouble, run to the cops. The cops are there to help you, especially white people from the suburbs who don't encounter police that much. If you're from the suburbs and you're white, you're treated differently than people inside the inner city. I'm not preaching this. You may know this, but the audience exists.
My audience has heard me debate systemic racism repeatedly. I have debated systemic racism.
But if you believe in systemic racism, then you should defend things like burning the flag and ACAB.
I do defend it. Yes, it's a right. And
you say they're cringe. You say they're cringe.
It's cringy. I wouldn't do it, but it's still their right to do it. So coming from the guy that's saying I can be against ACAB and pro ACAB at the same time, but I can't say it's cringy, but also a right to burn the flag. Give me a fucking break,
that's not what I said. I wasn't anti-ACAB. See, your ability to comprehend arguments is bad.
We just watched a clip where you said I would never say ACAB.
First of all, this is a different context, which is November 2019, which is well before we've had these new movements, which I supported Black Lives Matter for literal 5 fucking years. I was out there in the street for Black Lives Matter when it had 20%
Cool virtue signal. That's great. Meanwhile, you probably pushed more people to the far right than like some of these right wingers with how fucking like despicable your behavior is.
By the way, listen to you. Listen to you.
I have a question for you.
You are literally a profiter off of attacking people doing kiwi farms as content.
I don't care what you say, Mike. Your criticisms
are meaningless
to me, my dude. It doesn't matter, okay? Hey, I have a better question for you. When you talk about...
be true.
So do you still agree that when it comes to these things like ACAB or burning the flag, that like it doesn't matter if you appeal to like moderates? Like, do you realize like that was a claim? That was a claim that you made in your video that like who cares? Not everything has to appeal to like the white suburban moderates.
Which not everything does.
You're right. Not everything does, but some things. For example, movements trying to raise awareness of racial injustice should.
Wait. So you.
I was muted. White moderates in the suburbs are actually the reason Biden won. As sad as it is, white people still dominate politics. Suburban voters come out and they do vote. You need their vote in order to enact change. You need to make messages balance between demands and also, like I said before, things people can agree with. Something too radical doesn't work for... It's all... You need to be really, you need to not be, what's a good word for it? You need to have good instincts on what to use at what time. Not every message is going to be equal in the same place. Not every way you deliver a message is going to be equal in different places. So you need to get like, there was a big debate on the white savior complex throughout history. A lot of white liberals felt the need not to help racial justice, but they thought they needed to save black people. One big movie about this is The Blind Side, where it shows like this black football player, and he's like, I never slept on a bed before, which they made the black football player Michael Orr's life look a lot worse in the movie than it actually was, and they made him seem kind of dumb in the movie. And they had this white family adopt him and save him. A lot of white people have a white savior complex. They don't care about deep systemic issues. They have more of an emotional attachment to solving racism. They see racism as a social thing. They feel bad about it, so they want to feel like they're helping it or feel like they're making a change in some way. And although this sucks, we would rather everybody have a deep systemic understanding of why things are how they are. We still need people who believe or who have a white savior complex, because in our democracy, we'd rather have them be on our side in that regard than not be involved at all. And it sucks. It sucks. You don't want to have a bunch of white liberals going up to black people like, oh, I'm so sorry for being white. But, dude, we'd rather have that than not have it at all.
Hunter Avallone, fresh from Turning Points USA, is going to coach Black Lives Matter how they can appeal. You're the one
telling you,
them.
no.
So the reason,
no,
people that are on the street
you're putting words in my
burning
mouth again.
Or saying ACAB or saying Black Lives Matter, they are being actively oppressed and disenfranchised in the society. So when somebody who understands that, like you claim to, encounters people burning the flag, and you have an audience of moderate white people, instead of turning and saying, ooh, that's cringe, they shouldn't do that, you should turn to your audience and say,
also, you put words in my mouth again. I never said they shouldn't do it. See how you can't make an argument without literally putting words in my mouth?
If something is cringe, what is cringe? Is cringe good? Is cringe good for the movement?
No.
Can you stop being a weasel and just admit that when you say something is cringe, you say it's another way of saying it's bad and shouldn't be done?
Wrong. No. If I say it's cringe, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be done, and it certainly doesn't mean that it should be made illegal.
Cringe things are good. Cringe things are good.
What I'm trying to point out to you, Mike, is the fact that when you say
you're actually saying they're good.
What I'm saying
when you
to you,
call someone cringe, they're actually saying that they're good.
Okay, gotcha. What I'm saying to you, Mike, is when you make these claims like, who cares if you say ACAB or burning the flag and if that alienates people, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? I'm telling you that that's a privileged perspective, because of course I recognize that optics aren't everything, but if you want to garner a movement, you have to communicate those points well. And I think a great example of this is BLM. You see how now that BLM has this national attention because it appealed to moderates and got all of America listening,
Black Lives Matter
we're now seeing actual policy
appeal to
passed
moderates.
because of
That's
this.
wrong. Black Lives Matter was, in fact, extremely unpopular with white moderates. Extremely unpopular with white moderates.
I mean, nationally, though, they have moved the national conversation. And it's not even about...
But they didn't do it by appealing to white moderates. They did it by getting out on the streets and making demands and being visible.
And that movement caught the attention of many people.
It wasn't because white people did it. It was because people of color led a multiracial movement on the street.
I'm saying that for the first time there were moderates that actually were thinking about like systemic racism and having that conversation.
So the moderates did it. The moderates did it.
No, but I think that it's important to try and appeal to a large, especially a large voting bloc. And yes, sorry, I know we don't like it, but white people are...
It's democratically true. Yeah, Hunter's repeating what I said. It's so fundamental in government and in American government. It's funny that Mike from PA is acting like he doesn't understand this very, very simple and very agreed upon concept that you need public opinion on your side. For revolutionary thought to happen, or even if you want somebody to go to the far left on an issue, you still need them to come to the middle first. The idea that people go from the far right to the far left, they're going to go from reactionary to socialist in one swoop in one sweeping motion. That isn't true. If we take an example of somebody from a suburb, nobody's going to be from a suburb and become a socialist. That's not going to happen. We need to make them as socially conscious as possible. Everybody has a limit. Not everybody can go all the way left. Some people have a wall that they're never going to go past, but we need to make sure they hit that wall at least, even if they're not going to be perfect.
Are disproportionately in powerful positions to enact change.
So it's
appealing to that to a degree.
So the privileged position is
the
one that says don't care about white opinion. That's privileged.
No, the privileged position is who cares about optics, even though by getting more national attention, which in part is done by having more or less decent optics, you shouldn't compromise principles for optics, but by having decent optics, that's how we see real material change for marginalized communities.
So what would you say
not
the
by
material
you
change
getting up on
was?
Twitter.
What would you say the material change is for the Black Lives Matter movement?
For example, Joe Biden and his infrastructure plan, I believe he's planning on investing billions of dollars in some of these black communities.
Bad example.
Have been otherwise harmed by, I think, previous racist policies.
The plan, which one? The bipartisan one that hasn't passed, or the reconciliation bill that hasn't passed?
Well, I don't know. I guess you can use Biden's political power as an example of how like a centrist can unite enough parts of government to make change, like what the infrastructure bill wants to do. The partisan one, not the bipartisan one. I don't think, but at least the one that would happen through reconciliation. But yeah, I don't know. And people complain about Biden, but if you complain about Biden as president, then you aren't looking at it with a realistic historical lens. You just don't understand enough about the history of like what American presidents have actually done. Even FDR, people bring up FDR all the time. With unilateral power, he still wasn't a socialist. He did a lot of things through authoritarian means because he was allowed to. During times of crisis, he was a very good president. But nobody is a magician. Nobody in American history has been like a crazy perfect person in what they've done.
The one that made it through so far.
Well, is the one that's caused the systemic change.
So
the hypothetical bill that may pass.
The bill that is literally talking about systemic racism because of movements like BLM.
The one that didn't pass? The George Floyd
It hasn't passed it. I thought it's still going through. Is it still?
It hasn't passed?
It hasn't passed
yet,
right?
Because they're going to filibuster it?
Okay, what I'm saying is that your perspective...
I'm not talking about policies. Policies are something that doesn't matter as much as social groupings. People don't vote off policies. Policies can maybe open the door for some people to come onto a side, but social groupings matter much, much more. There's a reason Republicans still vote for Trump. They don't know about the policies. Even if they care about the rich paying their fair share of taxes, they are going to vote for Trump because he fits their social and cultural norms. And he fits, he's fighting for their cultural position. That's why people love Trump, even if they agree with Bernie Sanders' policies. So when we're talking about BLM, if we are talking about that topic, it's going to be hard to move people over on the social issues. So if we can move them over in any way, we should move them over. If that takes a more receptive message for somebody who's on the center right to move to the center left, that is a big deal.
Doesn't lead to actual change.
What about your perspective? It didn't achieve any change according to your metrics.
Closer.
No
We
law
actually
was passed.
hold on. We actually have legislation and now an administration that's constantly trying to pass legislation to ameliorate some of these issues with
Trying
systemic
to pass
racism.
legislation.
Yes,
is
that's
not
a lot
the same
better
thing
than
as
burning the
change.
American flag and your privileged ass advocating for it because who cares what anyone else thinks about this?
You're a white guy. Where do you live right now?
I'm not telling you shit. What are you trying to?
So you live in a white suburb. And you grew up in a white suburb, right?
Did you?
Policies aren't the same as plans aren't the same as policies. I mean, I guess you can make that criticism, but you can make that criticism of anybody. Like Bernie, advocacy isn't always going to result in a policy. Would Mike from PA freak out at the civil rights leaders of the 1950s because they didn't get anything done, but the civil rights leaders of the 1960s did get a bill done? Like advocacy and moving the general public and the political realm into a certain direction is a big undertaking. It takes a long time. It's not going to happen in a year or two. We're along the process right now because of people like Bernie Sanders and because of other big changes. But like the idea that you need to be there when the bill finally passes in order to be a part of that progress simply isn't true. If universal healthcare happens in America, it's going to be the result of 40 years of organizing and pushing.
No.
Why are you trying to invalidate me?
I grew up in military bases all over the world. I'm not from a white suburb. So wrong. Try again.
FDR's policies were not socialist. They were social welfare. It was a social welfare state. He gave money to private companies to carry out his infrastructure plan. The way the plans were done in 90% of our states were done in very racist means. They did not benefit black people nearly as much as they benefited white people. He was not a socialist. I don't know why people have that idea. Unless if you think a socialist is anybody that does social welfare spending. I mean,
I didn't say you were. You were the one that made
Yes,
that
you
claim.
did. You asked me
Okay.
all questions. You said I was privileged, and I asked you, did you grow up in a white suburb? And you said, did
That's
you?
not the privilege
And
part. The
answer is
privilege
you
part is
did.
you, Mr. Streamer Boy, saying, who cares if we appeal to moderates, when appealing to a broader audience is crucial for actually getting material change done. You don't care about that. You care about LARPing to your audience. And that's why you've gone back on everything you
said. Have you ever
said.
read Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail?
All of the...
Have you read that before? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
What does he say in it?
He says white moderates are bad. That's why we want to reach out to those people.
White moderates. No.
That's why we want to reach out to those people and try to get them on your side, Mike.
The regrettable conclusion that the white moderate is a bigger stumbling block to progress.
So how do you get rid of the white moderate?
Or the white citizen?
Okay. He did say the white moderate is bad in a sense, but if you think white moderates are the issue, if white moderates are a bigger threat to progress than the KKK and whatever, then that doesn't necessarily mean you have to attack white moderates. If you want to get them on your side, if they are the biggest roadblock to progress, then you might want to, in fact, be nicer to them and make your message better and more open to everybody to join it. Beating something doesn't require attacking it. If they are blocking progress, you need to get them on your side somehow. You can debate on the best method to do that, but MLK was much more nuanced than history remembers him, and then Mike from PA remembers him. If you really look at what he read about how government works and everything too, he was an idealist in a lot of what he wrote and what he spoke about, but he was very pragmatic and understood how the real world works too. He was a very smart man. He wasn't somebody who was going to be like, there is a reason he was so good at what he did. He wasn't just a LARPer or whatever. Obviously. The idea that he was simply saying white moderates are more dangerous than the K, like, that's such a reductionist way to look at MLK.
Citizens.
How do you get rid of the white moderate? Please tell me.
And the guy who says to wait for a more convenient season and to quiet down.
So what do you do with the white moderates? How should you do that? How should you reach those people? Should you just kill them? Should you just ignore them? What do you do?
The reason why I brought up that Martin Luther King quote for you, where he talks about how the white moderates are the bigger stumbling block to progress than the Ku Klux Klaner and the white citizens counselor, is because of exactly what's happening here. You are out there going, it's cringe to burn the flag. And the thing is, the energy for these movements is on the street. It's a multiracial movement. And the people burning the American flag and saying ACAB.
Hey, if you think making government programs, means you're a socialist, then great. I guess Joe Biden's a socialist.
It may not appeal as a politician. It may not be a great message to win national office. But if you are, you're not a politician. You're an online influencer. So who the fuck are you? Why are you trying to police these people? You should be out there educating more of your white moderates.
I'm trying to talk to you about your position and my position.
My position is very clear. My position is very clear. You're the one calling it cringe. Now, when you call something cringe, you're going to back away and say, well, I don't actually mean to say that it's bad. I just mean to say that it's bad optics.
So
and people used to say that when you were still a right winger. They were saying that about Black Lives Matter. Did you make any videos about Black Lives Matter?
Multiple. Yep. And I made a video debunking my old video on Black Lives Matter that used to be anti-BLM.
So you said that BLM was what? So could you explain to everybody what your arguments used to be about BLM?
No, I'm not going to do
not?
that because
Why not?
Because I've just looked up Joe Biden's $2 trillion infrastructure plan, and it does have a lot of interesting intention on trying to solve.
You understand that a plan is not a law, right?
Do you realize that a plan is a lot closer from our current president
Bernie Sanders
in our legislation? Right?
That doesn't mean that they're reality.
But you realize that that's a lot closer than whatever the fuck you're advocating for. So I'm not advocating. I just want to make this very clear. Like, I'm not
right now.
I just want to make this very clear. Like, I'm not advocating for respectability politics. I'm advocating for electability politics. And I think that sometimes you have to make compromises.
Correction.
You yourself brought up.
Is it perverting MLK? No shit.
You yourself brought up MLK. Hold on. You yourself brought up MLK talking about the white moderate. Now, I agree. The white moderate, the person that doesn't think there's these big issues to talk about, they're annoying. They can be a disservice. So you have to reach those people.
So
you have to reach those people, Mike.
This is disgusting stuff because Black Lives Matter, when you were attacking it, was saying the same stuff they're saying now, and the difference was people rose up because they saw things like the George Floyd murder, and that was a one thing too far, and they didn't come out, and it didn't cause people to come out on the streets because they stopped suddenly saying ACAB or they stopped saying defund the police. By the way, it was a movement, defund the police or abolish the police. That rose up during the George Floyd protest, during the Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah, because the video went viral of the cops, like, oh my god, dude.
Well, I have a
people
question
swung toward them, even though they were more radical than they were when they started.
But this
back in
just, I don't
Ferguson.
understand because
that's what actually happened. People
saw the video
because of the protest movements on the street and the people demanding change.
People didn't get out to a BLM protest because people were more aggressive and whatever in public. They were demanding change because their emotions got triggered by the video they saw of the man being murdered in broad daylight by a knee on his neck. That's why people got out. It wasn't some like deep-rooted care that was hiding. They got shocked into reality by that, or they got shocked into some sense of like what's actually happening as a result of that, and they felt the need to do something. It wasn't because more people were just like yelling outside, or something like that. As far as why like white people from the suburbs started to care about it.
resulted in people having to confront, and through the example of the George Floyd murder, white people were forced to confront the oppressive policing institutions, and they started to change their opinion about what Black Lives Matter meant. They thought, like you did when you were a right-winger, that Black Lives Matter was just, I don't know, what did you say? They were race hustlers or something like that? Is that about right? They were people just trying to divide the
If you're
country?
gonna call FDR socialist, then like I just disagree with it. His policies, if you want to say making more government programs is socialist, then sure. But I'd rather reserve. I mean, I just hate that word, dude. What he did was liberalism. It's social liberalism. He wasn't a socialist by any means. He wasn't giving workers more rights or nationalizing anything. He didn't care about socialism. He didn't want to be a socialist. He actually commonly spoke out against socialism. He said, we are going to make good government programs. We're going to show people what the government can do. I'm going to be a good leader. I'm going to make sure our country is a free country and I care about our values. I think that's a much better approach than calling anything socialist. If you're going to call what he did socialist, then you have to call a lot of things Biden wants to do socialist, because he wants to have government agencies to carry out certain infrastructure programs and stuff like that. Like, there's so many. I just don't know. I have some people telling me socialist should mean Stalin. Socialist should mean nationalizing stuff. Socialist should mean worker control. Socialist should mean Medicaid. Socialist, what does it mean? Decommodification? Like, it's so dumb to me. I can't stand it. Are you a real leftist? Bro, calm down. Nobody gives a shit about your label.
You can go look at my video where I debunk it if you'd like, because I go through and give a constructive debunking of that old position.
Why won't you just say, I used to hold this position so we could have a conversation? Why do you have to hide the ball about what your old position was?
I'm not trying to hide the ball. I've been very open about my old positions. Most of my content now revolves around me debunking positions that I once had.
He was a populist. He wasn't, that's a big reason people think he was a socialist, though. He was a populist. A lot of populists will say really popular things as they are doing policies, and many people throughout society and history consider that like socialist, because he like spoke as if he cared about like the common man. Like I said before, Hitler and Mussolini and like the Nazi Party really liked they really liked FDR's style until of course all the conflicts started. They would speak kindly about him and the New Deal and everything. He was a populist. I would not consider it socialist, though.
Hiding
sounds
ball.
like
It's that
hellish to me, but I'm glad that you're doing it.
Good thing
Keep it up.
that was on your list of what it would take to rehabilitate me. So good
Yeah,
thing I'm
that's
doing
good.
that, right?
Keep working on it.
So
Keep working
what
on
I'm wondering
it.
though
Eventually
is when
you
you
won't be a cancer on the internet. When
Gotcha.
you fully deleted all your
so
shit videos.
these statements that you've made though about like ACAB and everything else, like it sounds completely contradictory to what you said to Destiny
That's
on
not
November
at all what I
21st,
said.
2019.
That's not
you
all I
said I
It
wouldn't
isn't
say it because it'll reach.
Why can't you? Why are you so dense?
Because
Why are you so
you
dense?
said that you wouldn't say ACAB. Because
I
it might
think
be
you can argue that some other countries had actual socialist movements after or during that period. But in America, no. We just got baseline social welfare stuff. But like nationalizing our healthcare system, that never happened. Decommodifying our healthcare system, that never happened. Decommodifying our prison system, that never happened. Making sure we had a long-lasting union state, that never happened. A lot of government programs made a lot of private entities money. It wasn't like government programs ran by the people made their own money and started worker co-ops. None of that happened. And some of that was happening in other countries. So I wouldn't call FDR a socialist just because he was a populist that made a lot of government programs and and a lot of different and he had a lot of different policies. I don't care if the left and right would call it socialist today. It doesn't mean it's actually socialist. The left and right today calls single payer socialist when it still maintains private insurance companies. Like they call tons of things socialist, and I disagree with it.
I wouldn't
that could
say
be valuable to
ACAB.
your movement.
I wouldn't, as a politician, say ACAB, and no politicians are saying
So
that.
as a politician,
Even
you
Cory
wouldn't
Bush,
say it because you recognize that it does harm, and it actually does
No.
it pushes
Because
people away that could
there
be
are different-
valuable.
okay,
But when
there's
people just say it in
different-
general, it's not a
oh,
problem.
Oh no, okay, this is good. This is a good teaching moment. Okay, there's different roles.
Teach me,
within-
Mike.
FDR commonly spoke about why we needed single payer healthcare, but or not FDR, the other letter guy, JFK commonly spoke about how universal healthcare, single payer healthcare, was the best form of healthcare. But many people consider him like a very down the line centrist guy. He was very right wing on social issues, on like abortion and stuff like that. For the time, it was pretty common, but he was a very strong like religious guy, and he agreed with some more like government control of certain things. But nobody would consider him a socialist or LBJ a socialist.
I'm being educated so hard right now.
Change. I wish you would listen. There's different roles within social movements. You have street movements. You have
And a lot
activists.
of what Democratic presidents have advocated for, have pushed for throughout history, has been a lot of what FDR did. But the difference is during FDR's period, he had a lot of political power. He had a mandate to do a New Deal after he got elected. He ran on this vague policy like, oh, I'm going to do the New Deal. What did that mean? He was a good leader. He was going to make it happen, whatever that was. He had a lot of unilateral power. Currently, the executive in America had a lot of leeway to do what they wanted at that period. So FDR was able to make reality what a lot of Democratic presidents advocate for. Every Democratic president wasn't a socialist, though, because they advocated for a social welfare state.
You have organizers, you have the public, you have politicians, you have movement leaders. They all have different roles and different rhetoric, right? It's the job of the social movements and the activists to pressure their aligned politicians to organize with them. When the agitators and the organizers are out in the streets talking to the public, they have a different voice.
I don't care.
Martin
about
Luther
any of
King
this.
Jr. and Malcolm X had a different voice than LBJ. Do you acknowledge that?
Sure, but
So
this is such a massive pivot from like anything.
This is not a pivot. This is basic sociology, basic movement organizing.
I guess I'm just wondering why you want to talk about my old views.
By the way, do you disagree? Do you disagree with? Wait, hold on. I just made an argument, and you just gave in. You just folded without dealing with what I said. Do you agree that there is a different role between activists, organizers, movement leaders, and politicians?
Yeah. Do you think that activists can have a pretty significant impact on how their movement is perceived?
Of course.
Okay, so great. Now it sounds like you
So you're saying that? Wait a minute. So
Well,
Martin
either way,
Luther
it
King
doesn't
Jr.
matter.
So in your opinion, Martin Luther King Jr. was damaging to the civil rights movement?
No.
Can I get you
wouldn't
to
say
say
that. Wait. What the
Can I get you
fuck
to say
is this? No, you're not going to get me to
Well,
say that.
because he was
Nothing
very-
you're naming was a full society. That's the definition of a welfare state. Like Social Security is for old people to reduce their poverty. It wasn't socialist. It was a welfare. Like that's the definition of what that is. It's an expanded liberal social welfare state. I've spoken to people who are academics that get mad about this because it isn't socialism. That isn't what like any socialist thinker has ever thought socialism to be. That's what America thinks it is. That's what a lot of politicians and that's what contemporary conversations lead to. Like, oh, these are socialist things. These are government programs. The government is doing things. The government. It's not a socialist thing because the government is doing a program. If I institute right now benefits for people who can't find a job, that's not socialism. It's a welfare state that catches people so they don't fall too far out of our capitalistic system. Fire departments, all the stuff you're naming, fire departments, roads, bridges, and courts, army, all of these things are provided by the government with the purpose. The reason the government does these things, the reason the government does any social welfare state today is to help maintain capitalism so capitalism doesn't fracture and fall apart. It's not socialism. Socialism isn't a policy that helps maintain capitalism. That's like a Christian democracy, like a Christian Democrat. That's how this works. You're wrong. You're just wrong. Yeah, it can be argued that it's anti-revolution or anti-socialism. Like literally, roads are built by the government so businesses can transport, so commerce can work. Fire department, like all these things are meant to keep our society together because if our society is together, the capitalistic system doesn't fall apart. It guarantees that everybody can participate in capitalism to at least some level. That's why a welfare state is instituted. It's the opposite of socialist. It's not socialist. You can advocate for socialist policies within it, like if you fully decommodify healthcare or if you advocate for unions, sure, you can say you're somewhat socialist. But even that, you can't like.
Very
for someone to claim,
so
for you
Hunter,
to claim
dude,
that I am being bad faith in this debate, to try to get me to say I don't like MLK.
What was
give
Martin
me
Luther
a
King Jr.'s
fucking
What was
break.
Martin Luther King Jr.'s approval rating from white people?
I don't
at the
know,
time?
and I also don't care.
Oh, wait,
you
you don't?
yourself
Okay.
have already.
Okay,
I know that it was
so this
low.
is very
I
good.
know it was low, Mike, but I'm not here for a history lesson from
That's because
renowned
you don't-
genius Mike from PA.
You need a history.
I'm here to
you need a
try and
history
talk to you
lesson
about the
because
claims.
because you're not
No, I'm not letting
understanding.
you get away with this gish galloping bullshit.
This is not
I
a
want
gish
you to
gallop.
come back
This
to the
is an
topic.
I'm
The
comparing
topic on
the
the claims
Black
that
Lives
you.
Matter movement with the civil rights movement. And Martin Luther King Jr., who we revere as a beloved figure now, was unpopular by white people in
I
the past.
know that. I recognize that. That
So
doesn't
you are
take
now
away
doing
from
the
my
same
over.
shit as the white
No.
martyrs.
You're categorically you're wrong. Your definition of socialist is too online and too
I'm not. It doesn't take
and really distorted.
away
Yes,
the
you are.
overall point that it's important for making real change that there are times where you want to play into electability politics. I'm not saying it's never appropriate to burn the American flag necessarily. I'm also not ever once saying that people should be locked up for burning the American flag. All I'm saying is, generally speaking, the way that most moderate individuals who could be on your side,
Jim
your
Crow
words,
are the
way
reason-
that they see the flag, they see it representing something that leftists might not agree with. There are better ways that you can communicate the goals of your movement without burning the flag and generally giving fodder to fucking like Fox News to claim that you're like American hating.
Okay, this is pretty much over. This debate here. Thank you all for hanging out. I'm pretty sure Vaush is online, so you guys can watch that. But thank you for tuning in for my first live video in weeks. Everybody have a good one. Good night, y'all.